Okay, folks, we're back. Kind of another late night recording session. Had a lot of these lately. Um, I would say I had a busy day, but I was only busy for a few hours, and then I kind of gave up on that and came home and read, took a nap and stuff. I'm feeling a lot better about things than I was yesterday. Getting lag here. I forgot to unplug the tablet. That would be why. Okay, so I was reading the Andrew Loomis um figure drawing book for a little bit before I came here to draw. I have a really difficult time keeping curves parallel. Anyhow, I was reading that book and I was trying to sketch a little bit, and I was thinking of somebody, someone that I don't know. I don't know if anybody else does this. Maybe this is just like a me thing. I used to construct her face in my brain based off her nose, right? Like you see someone's structure, the structure of their face, and you pick out like a key detail. You know what I mean? And for me, the key detail was her nose. Like that was the thing I could construct her face off of. But lately, I feel like I construct her face off her lips. She's been wearing like a lot more. Maybe she hasn't been wearing it more often, but I've just seen her wearing it more often, like lipstick or lip gloss or whatnot, what have you. Um, and so when I was sitting there and I was like, I'm reading this book, I'm feeling a little inspired. We should draw something. I drew some lips that I was like actually pretty happy with. So my point of contact needs to be here-ish. It's far too long though. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not long enough. Um, yeah, so I drew some lips and I was like a little baffled, to be honest. Not because the lips were like incredibly good or anything like that. Um, they were fine. I mean, for me, they're probably pretty incredibly good. I've never been able to draw lips before. But rather because um after that I constructed a face based off of drawing some lips. And oops. Uh I don't know. It just felt very natural, I guess, for me. And I was like, well, maybe this is my key to drawing better faces. Maybe my situation here is not that. I think that the problem I'm seeing is that this space is less than this space. So I need to reach the peak around here, right? Um, maybe instead of right now trying to draw everything with like the Loomis method, where I make like a ball, and then from there I get the details of the face figured out. Maybe instead of doing that, I just like draw parts of the body that I can draw. Maybe can is a strong word here. But parts of the body that I can illustrate to some degree, and then try and construct a head off of that. And then if I can figure out how to move things more easily in the software, I would be able to. I think it's still a little too high, but that's all right. I'd be able to get a face that's a little bit better arranged, right? So pause from what I'm doing here real quick to demonstrate it, right? So like I draw a lip or whatever, and then I draw the nose, and then I don't know, provide some like details, and then I get like the eye, and then I get the other eye, and then I get the eyebrows, and then I don't know, draw the chin here, get an ear in, get another ear in, and then have like the hair. And then I could just like selection, was it lasso tool? Yeah. I could just like move these things. You know what I mean? I don't really know how. Yeah. And then I'd be like, "Oh, this eye needs to be like here instead." Right? Um and after that, I could, draw this stuff and get the proportions all figured out, right? So that's kind of the thought process today. Right now, rather than giving into the despair of I can't draw, I'll never be able to draw, maybe we just figure out how we draw for now, and then we can fix it later. That makes sense. I think it came down a little too low. And I don't look at lips enough. I'm not sure if these lines match up for most people, right? Like if this point here should be here instead. It just felt wrong when I was trying to draw it, but now that I'm looking at it, it still looks wrong. But like we've got lips, right? They're there. That's the important part. Um, we can figure out issues with that sort of thing later. I've not watched any videos on drawing in a minute. And the line on the lips is kind of like, it's got like a bit of a curve to it, right? But I'm drawing it the wrong way, I think. I think the curve goes up. More like that, except more even on the arc. I don't know. Uh, Actually, when I did this last drawing of the lips, what I did is I drew this. That was oof. Oof. There we go. I drew that, and then I drew an upper lip above it, but I was so pointed and high on these ones, whereas when I started the other one, it was more like I did this, and that. And then from there, I drew the rest of the lips here. I think also when I drew this last set of lips, though, I did this. which doesn't look quite right. It looks a little weird. So I was trying to do, a bit more of a W shape to match the M shape of the top of the lips. Regardless, we're just gonna try. Yeah, see, that doesn't look right. Try like another subtle M sort of thing. And that looks like a little bit more accurate for lips, right? And then if your lips are what I would consider normal, you got like little lines because they're chapped. You need to put some chapstick on. Wrinkles in the skin. We're gonna erase those though because that makes it look goofy. But this is just like me saying, hey, I know that lips are not perfectly smooth. They only appear that way if you are enhancing those features somehow. Like lipstick or a lot of chapstick or something. I don't know. I still struggle with nostrils because in reality, you look at a nose, right? Let's just say that's the nose, okay? The bridge is here, right? And all of this space is a nostril. Like nostrils are the majority of the width. So like if you look at this, technically it should go around like here-ish, right? And then you would have the bridge. All this would need to be moved in. I don't know. I can't quite figure it out. It's not really relevant right now though, so we're just gonna draw the other side and we can figure stuff out when we get there. Where is this? This is the center. Well, it's going to be something like that, I think. Right around there. So. These lines are too dark. Need to press less hard. Just to get a feel of the shading. Is it Alt that moves this? Nope. Shift. Nope. Control? Yeah, okay. We're figuring out shortcuts now. And then the eye should be somewhere like here, I think. So how are we drawing eyes? It's like two sets of squares. It's three sets of squares. It's not a 1 by 2, it's a 2 by 3. So 1, 2 units. Okay. And this comes in largely like that. Kind of. Right? Let's lasso tool this out of here. I just need a quick refresher. So I think it needs to be wider, right? Somewhere between the two of those. Maybe there? Not feeling like super confident about this eyeball, but that's alright. We can fix it later. I think it's, again, not wide enough. But that's alright. Not a big deal. Okay, I got a little over 2 committed to the bit. Yeah, two committed to the bit. Maybe we'll get the eye better on this side. It's too narrow. Ironed. We gotta fix that line here. I don't think this eye is much better. Might be more proportional in width to the rest of the face. But that's probably it. Okay. I think it probably looks a little bit worse. Maybe something like that. Now, what is this person looking at? They're looking up at the sky. They see a cloud that reminds them of a bunny. I'm laughing about how inconsistent these two eyes are. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. Oh, a little bit. Some lag spikes there. Computer's trying to figure something out, I think. And then Like, does this not already look like the best face I've drawn? I mean, we have been spending the majority of 20 minutes on it. So we're not really attaining the thing that I keep saying we need to attain, which is like pace over uh like skill, but that's okay. Like this looks like a human. Like I haven't drawn anything that looks human yet. And then for like the chin, I was doing this. Cuz chin's kind of rounded, right? And then from there you can like come out. Still needs to maintain some degree of an angle here. A little higher, a little higher. And that's where the hairline can be at. We're going to try. Actually, let's erase this. I don't think this is good. I think this is going to mess me up. Try and hit the other side here. Those first few lines weren't good because I wasn't looking at what I was doing. Oh, I should erase this arrow too. There's got to be a good line in there somewhere. Let's clear that out. Oh, I erased my good line. I saw it go. That's all right. We can figure this out. So, my other issue with ears is like when I draw ears, I really like to have like an early break up here that pulls me in, kind of like a half heart shape, right? When I draw on the left side, but when I draw on the right side, my break comes really late, like down there, right? Um, Something I've noticed. Like that's a friggin' person. Don't get me wrong, these eyes right now that I've zoomed out a little bit here, are not looking at the same thing. Let's see if I lasso tool, if this is like something that you can fix with the lasso tool, if we're gonna have to redraw the eyes. Zoom in better because I can't quite. Something like that maybe. We'll be alright. And then control. How do I turn this? It's gotta be like a turn thing, right? Um, I wanna rotate it, but that's okay. If we can't rotate it, that's fine. Just fix the eye real quick. And we can just fill in the gaps. That's a lot better. Um, That's a really ugly nose, dude. And then back to the pen. I'm not. Oh, it's because I'm highlighted. This is definitely a dude, but it's not like an older dude. I feel like he's in his teens or early 20s, maybe? Hair is not level. The distance between here and here is greater than the distance between here and there by a great amount. So let's try and trap into that a little bit. See where that puts us. Looks a little bit better, I think. One thing I don't understand is how do I connect the back of the head here? Is it like a little line here? Something like that, maybe? You know? You know what I'm saying? And like the cheekbones are like here-ish, right? Which means that his cheeks would be like a little sunken in here. Just add some shading to get the effect of where parts of his face are gonna be. And then some shading here. Shading here. Maybe he's got like some worry lines too. No, I don't think it matches with the rest of his face. And I don't know. What is that? So like you know, cause like your bottom underneath your lip is like shaded, cause your lip protrudes. But like, look at this, guys. This is actually not horrible. Look at this. 28 minutes. We drew a almost good face. Like, damn. There's still lots of things that need to improve, right? Like the curve here versus the curve here. Lip needs work, clearly. Nose is probably far too wide. The eyes are not the same at all. Versus like a much smaller and taller. Ears are not quite the same shape, and this one's a little bit smaller than the other one. Right? I think the eyes are probably a bit too high, right? Like if I go from, say, like right here to down here, this is not the halfway point. probably closer to that. So I just need to move down a little bit. It looks like I've drawn crow's feet on this poor kid. Eyebrows are not dynamic enough and they don't match, right? Like another thing that's, this is much wider than this is. Which is funny because this is the narrow eye and this is the wide eye, right? And it's got a narrow eyebrow and this one's got a wide eyebrow. The curves are not the same. This one's more like that. This one has more of a to it. I don't know. But like I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've drawn here. If we put like a Loomis face here and then just cut all the stuff together and moved it around appropriately, there's a good chance that this face would look pretty good. You know what I mean? Try and fix the ear a little bit because that shouldn't be too much of a difficult task, but I was wrong because I don't have the curve down on this side. Obviously, clearly figuring out how we make the back side of the head go together is an important thing to determine. But like it's got the stuff, you know? We can give him like a little notch here. Where's that an apple's gonna be? Except it would be a lot bigger than that. I would assume it'd be something like that, you know? Right? And then like his collarbone's gonna be somewhere down here. So his shoulder is there. And I don't have enough space on this side, but like there, you know? That's way narrower. That's another thing I struggle with is proportional shoulders. But like we got a dude. So here we are, day 14. I don't know. I don't know what we call this. A splash of understanding, maybe? Because that's kind of what I feel like it is. Understanding my place as an artist, strong word, I know, and how I can use those things to construct a face better than drawing a circle, extending the circle, you know, drawing the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the eyebrows, the hair. Rather instead we kind of like this looks like semi-realistic. I mean, maybe I come back tomorrow and I look at it, I'm like, oh god, what did I do? How did I think this was so good? But like I feel like it's not that bad. This ear is still like a little too short, I think. But yeah, like we're good. We're doing better. There was a lot of improvement today. Maybe it's because I slept enough. I certainly didn't eat enough. So thanks to my friend whose lips have inspired me to figure out how to draw, I guess, which is like a crazy thing to say. It sounds like I have ulterior motives with this person, but no. Yeah, we're gonna be back tomorrow, hopefully with some good progress. It probably is gonna be another later recording and post, just because I have plans and I'm gonna want to read when I get home before I like do any like real artwork stuff because I want to finish this book I'm on. But we can talk about that later. Speaking of later, I'll see you then.